this shit. Let's see how bad this comic
This
is.
is Grief speaking. Today I'm going to cover a comic that has been highly requested for a long time. I'm talking about Grant Morrison's Crossed. This is often considered the most disturbing comic book ever made, or at least the most mainstream one. So I
Ever made.
messed up, but man, even
I'll be back at 4. We're playing Among Us. Yes. At 9. So hour and 20 minutes.
Characters and the almost impossible task of their survival is riveting.
See, when where's my mouse? When I first saw this comic, I thought they were zombies. But it's a cult. Interesting. If we ever had an apocalypse, I don't want to ever have a religious apocalypse. Never. Never. Also, turn this off.
So if you like this video and want me to cover more Crossed, let me know. I also want to mention that I recently started memberships on my channel.
I don't care. Sorry.
What's up? The very first image is the silhouette of a man holding someone's spine and walking up to a diner in a small town.
No, an hour and 20 minutes. 1 hour and 20 minutes. But yeah, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes. An hour and 20. All right.
In glasses, reads a book and sips a coffee. This is our narrator and lead character, Stan. He goes on a monologue about how YouTube and social media makes us numb to the violent.
Oh, this is a recent comic.
Holding the spine.
Yo, Sapis! Yo, Sapis, I don't know if you heard this, and this is yo, I don't like this. I don't like how my hair is covering my eyes. I want y'all to see my not my forehead, not my forehead. Not my forehead, my beautiful face, not my forehead. Sapis, I want to educate you. Among Us is at 9, and I forgot. No, so this video that we're watching is basically made by the person who made The Boys, but it's more fucked up. So we're gonna see how fucked up it is, because I have no idea what it's about. So join me on this adventure. In other words, lurk, just lurk and sit there and lurk. All right. Lurk and listen. All right. And did you see that apparently The Boys has more people watching than Invincible? Not gonna lie to you. That surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. That actually surprised me. That surprised me.
Covered in blood
right.
And drops the fleshy bones right.
I hear more people talk about Invincible than The Boys. That's why I'm like, damn. The Boys has more viewers than Invincible? Interesting. In other words, I'm trying to mentally manipulate you to start watching the show right now. Right now. Like, put on your second monitor The Boys and put me in the front of the monitor. And then you're just going to be, like, sitting like this. Watching both. Like, that monkey who's just, like, looking back and forth. Start the show. Start the show. Thank you. Right.
Onto the counter.
Yeah, no, fuck
Jim
you.
Assumes this
fuck
is
you, bro.
Prank and tells the guy to get out of here. A waitress named Cindy starts to warn Jim that something isn't right, but he shrugs her off and starts giving the bloody man an earful. Suddenly, the man lunges forward and, in disturbing detail,
I saw this part.
Jim's nose. Cindy smashes a coffee pot across the guy's head to get him off and tends to Jim, whose face is covered in blood now. Outside, a police car suddenly crashes into a wall, and Stan runs to see what the hell's going on, only to find that the driver was sent through the windshield and has a
all right, bet. So next week.
Arm. And strangely, he's smiling. He's also got a cross-like abrasion or burn across his face. The car then lights up in flames, and inside, the smiling officer starts attacking his partner as they both burn alive.
Not too bad so far.
From what they saw, Stan and some other onlookers hear a loud noise and look up to see a freaking airplane falling out of the sky. We get a look inside the cockpit.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, for a show, that would hook me. Because what the hell is going on? Why do they have crosses on their faces? Wait. Is this a cult or an infection? I thought it was an infection at first, but now and then someone said it was a cult. Interesting. Just keep watching.
Flight attendant is ripping another's face off. A passenger is shoving his entire fist into the co-pilot's mouth, and the pilot, who's also crossed, has his eyes ripped out.
His fist is in his
crashing the plane.
His fist is in his mouth?
Well, it gets way worse. Back on the ground, Jim, the diner owner, runs out and stabs an innocent man in the back, and according to Stan, begins to use the wound as an orifice, if you catch my drift. It's absolutely disgusting. This awful
Wait, whoa.
What? if you catch my drift. It's
Just to get my shit together, but then Jim fit a stubby erection. Wait. But when Jim fit a stubby erection in the wound, he'd widened with the butcher's knife?
So
Wait,
Stan
what?
begins to use the wound as an orifice.
If I'm reading what I'm thinking I'm reading, what the fuck?
If you catch my
Okay,
drift. It's
okay, that's
absolutely
pretty fucked up.
disgusting. This awful act distracts Stan, which turns out to be good because in the opposite direction, a nuclear power plant explodes. Even though it's miles away, it blinds everyone staring at it. One of these people is a woman named Kelly, who Stan would often see in the diner. In his narration, Stan says that everything went to shit so fast
Yeah, Tony?
that no one knows exactly how it all started. But there's a lot of speculation as to what happened to the cross. One
My God.
popular theory is that
What's
it
up,
was
man?
God's
Hey,
judgment.
man.
Part two.
Hey, Tony.
Here we jump
Hey,
ahead
Tony.
10 months.
Hey, Tony. Tony. Hi. Tony. Tony. Hi. Tony. Tony. Hi. 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 Tony. Tony. Hi. Hi. Watch the fucking video with me or die. Don't ever greet me again. I'll rip you apart. What does it? Oh. Oh. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Oh my God. Look what you made me do. I broke my camera. Oh my God. Look what you made me do. Hold up. No way. Hold up. Oh, did I just I'm so stupid. I think I just closed it. Hold on. Oh my God. I just closed it. You freaking bum. All right. I figured it out. I fixed it. Motherfucker. Get back up there. Get back up there. You better be placed correctly too. Be the last thing you hear. Okay. Is this the right spot? I don't even know anymore. Fuck you. Whew. All right. Let's go.
A rough-looking Stan.
I don't even know what happened. Whatever.
Judgment. Part 2. Here we jump ahead 10 months. A rough-looking Stan and Cindy, the waitress we saw before, are scoping out a nearby town from the edge of the woods.
I am not balding.
Optimistic seeing the supermarket, but then they look at the town square to see some pretty brutal stuff. The Crossed are attacking some people, including a naked woman who's being dragged by her hair and a little kid who's running for his life. In the background, there's multiple skeletal corpses strewn about town. So unfortunately, this is a no-go. We learn that Cindy has a young son named Patrick, who she never lets out of her sight.
Shut up.
And that the three of them
What's
have
the
traveled
video?
20 miles just to scope out this town.
Damn.
They make their way back to their base in a cave along with some other survivors, including Thomas, who you might recognize as one of the people outside of the diner, and Kelly, who's now blind from looking at the nuclear explosion. In the cave,
So
the
it
group
was
what
an
little canned food
infection,
they have,
I
and
feel
Stan
like.
has another inner
I
monologue
don't
that's
know.
pretty pessimistic. After everything he's seen in these 10 months, he's basically given up the notion of hope and instead just focuses on staying alive for the next few hours. A man in the group named Joel starts going on about how he had a run-in with a Crossed that he swears was killed by Salt. He was being chased through a supermarket when the Crossed crashed into a shelf of salt, which covered his body and apparently started killing him.
Stop. Why are you meowing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Watch the video. The video. Nothing else. Not me. Don't say meow. Don't bark. The video. Okay? And that's all you can and will do. All right? Thank you very much.
This is their weakness, but as the rest of the group pokes holes in his story, it seems
Matt
like
Murdock,
what he
by the
really
way.
saw was the reaction that anyone would have had getting salt in their throat and eyes. Either way, Joel seems hopeful that they can fight back, and Stan just...
Bro, you know how many bad allegations I already have playing some of the games I play? Bro, I still get made fun of for playing that dating sim game. Yo, where's Wander? I gotta tell him fuck him for that. I still get made fun of for that. Yo, I gotta take a break from this shit. You know, I can't play games like that. Why is there a femboy game on Roblox, by the way? What the hell? What the hell,
He's
bro?
into him, saying that this isn't a sci-fi movie. The government's not going to suddenly find a cure and come in and save everyone. Kelly asks Joel if this salt idea is really worth gambling his family's lives. He looks over at his wife and daughter, who are clearly pretty hungry. It seems that Cindy is the reason everyone's alive and is a strong leader. To further that point, it cuts to the past, where we see how the original group formed in the first place. Sometime after the incident at the diner, Stan, Thomas, and Kelly have almost made it out of town and are hiding in a backyard while the neighborhood is going absolutely insane. Suddenly, a crossed woman pops up from the other side of the fence and starts trying to attack them. She has a knife in her back, which has paralyzed her, but is still smiling and crawling towards Stan, saying some pretty horrible stuff. I can't even really repeat most of it on YouTube because it's so awful. She
Wait, I
looks
wanna
over,
see.
calls Kelly an Asian slur, and says she's gonna
Oh.
pull her guts out of her. Yeah, man, the cross literally say the worst
What?
possible things you can think of. Although, as you'll see, what they say is the least of their problems. Before she gets a chance to attack, Cindy shows up in a truck and runs the cross girl over. She tells him to get in, and they all quickly hop into the truck. As they pull away, the crossed woman's body is crushed by the tire, and she seems to be taking great pleasure in it. Yikes. As they drive, Stan
Interesting.
notices that Cindy's ear is horribly burned, and it apparently has nothing to do with the cross, but rather her abusive ex-husband who held her head to a stove. Jesus. They head in the opposite direction of the nuclear blast, and it then cuts back to the present. It seems that the lookout...
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Keep this animated. If they're making this into a piece of media, a show, or movie, probably most likely a show, keep it animated, bro. Give it the Invincible treatment. Don't give it live action treatment. I don't think it needs that. That's
spotted some movement coming their direction in the hills, and so the group is evacuating the cave. As they rush through the woods,
especially if this is worse than the boys. Oh my god, keep it animated.
Joel's wife pretty brutally snaps her ankle. She can't move, and
I hate that.
She begs Joel to just take their daughter and go. But first, she asks him to shoot her. Joel refuses and instead makes a circle around them in salt. He assures his family that everything will be okay as the mob of Cross approaches them. Unfortunately, Stan was right, and there's no miracle weapon to save them. There's one last panel of Joel with tears flooding his face, and in the next page, we get an idea of how absolutely twisted this comic is. I imagine I'm gonna have to blur this entire scene, but the Crossed basically do the worst thing you can imagine to both Joel and his wife, and luckily they don't do it to their daughter. Instead, the little girl is torn apart and hacked into pieces. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I gotta find this image. I gotta see how fucked up this is. Hold on. Hold up. Crossed comic images. Let's see how fucked up this looks. What's his name? Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. Chat, this cannot be shown. Wait, what? There's no way. Oh! What is that? Alright, so is anyone, if you want to know the details of what I'm witnessing right now, I am witnessing a person lifting up their shirt bent over, and they have a foot and a skeleton in that foot, and they are jamming it up. Oh, wow, it's very graphic. Jamming it up their butt. Wow. That is fucked. Alright, what was their name?
This is instead you can I imagine I'm gonna and in the next page to save them. There's one last panel of Joel with tears.
Joel's death. If it's this fucked up, I cannot imagine their death. Hold on. Comic. Joel. What do you mean? Oh, let me look this up real quick. I'm trying to see what this looks like. I'll explain after, but trying to see. Okay, I'm trying to see what their death looked like. What the fuck? Okay. Oh. Oh my god. Dude, this can never be a piece of media ever. This can never, yo. There are people who cosplay this. This is so fucked. That's so fucked. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep watching. I'm interested, but that's actually fucked. Oh wait, let me exit out of this. So Among Us, we're gonna change names to like who, what, who, someone, him, her, stuff like that. We're gonna switch our names to that. That's the plan for Among Us tonight. I do not like how you can't see my eyes. That's what we're doing with the names. Oh my god, I've never felt that kind of way before with the fucking story. Jesus Christ.
Tears flooding his face, and in the blur this entire scene, but the Crossed basically do the worst thing you can imagine to both Joel and his wife, and luckily they don't do it to their daughter. Instead, the little girl is torn apart and hacked into pieces. Yep, this is Crossed. If this is too much for you,
like, why? Wait, let me see what he says.
You better get off the train now.
Like, why make a story like this? What made you sit down and be like, you know what? Yeah. That'd be cool to put in a comic book. People are gonna fuck with that. The worst part is people did fuck with it. Yo, I'm like, that is so fucking disgusting. If you want to do your own research, I advise not. I advise steer away.
Part 3. The group has found shelter in an old country house thanks to a survivor.
Wait, let me tell Kelvin that I finally found what made Cross so fucked up. Cause he was looking up images, bro. I hope he's not doing something. Calvin? Remember that story Crossed you were telling me about?
Yeah.
So I'm watching a video explaining it, and then I finally found some images. This book's so fucked.
What happened?
Bro, so there was a father, mother, and daughter, and he thought Saw can stop these cross people, but the Saw couldn't stop them. So they basically graped the mom and father and tore the child apart, and they were killing the mom and father while graping them.
Okay, I did see that.
That is fucking disgusting. You saw the image?
Yeah.
Bro, that's so...
That was the right one.
That was so fucked. Oh my god. And it gets worse. And I saw someone getting a blowjob from like, they got, like, a dead head and started getting a head from the head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro, what is this story? Alright, but Among Us at 9.
Are you streaming?
Yeah, I'm streaming right now. I'm watching it on stream.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm about to join this thread hate.
Oh my god. This guy. That was fucking disgusting.
Tells them what he's heard, that New York flooded and Texas burned. This is the main way of getting information these days. Little bits here and there from other survivors. Randall says his plan is to head northwest to Alaska. Low population means less crossed. He mentions avoiding Canada as much as possible though. Apparently when it all started happening, Canada tried to close the border thinking it was just an American thing, but in reality it was spreading everywhere. So now there's a ton of crossed
Oh my god.
the border, and
bro, it's bad because she's... Her final words to her husband was, wait, what were her final words? Wait, what were her final words? That was so fucked. Hold up. I would not want to hear that while dying. Stupid cocksucker, fucking asshole, look what you did, motherfucker, look what you fucking did. As she's getting, like... Nah, bro. Why do you get the gun and be like, I would have... Like, I would have real quick. That is horrible. That is actually terrible. Holy shit.
Imagine what they could do with tanks. This opens the conversation up about what the Crossed are capable
Oh
of.
shit,
Can
my bad.
they learn or do they just destroy? Randall then tells a story of something strange he saw. A group of Crossed deciding to eat one of their own. It's a pretty gory display, and one of the guys is doing unmentionable things to a torn off leg.
What is it with them and fucking body parts? What is their concern? I saw an image with the girl bent over, mask, all that on, and she lifted up her skirt, and she had the bone part of the foot, and she was just like ramming it. Like, why did he make this? I was just saying that too. Like this, there's also people who cosplay as the Cross. Those people are actually fucked up. There's no way you are cosplaying as these guys. Like, that's just fucked. Call me sensitive. I'm not sensitive, but like that is fucked. That's actually fucked up.
Gross. Judging by the size of the crosses on their faces, this guy hadn't just turned either. It's an interesting insight and a disturbing way for them to avoid starving to death when there are no innocents around to kill. This is also the first time we learn that the larger the cross is on their faces, the longer they've been crossed. For instance, the Cross who entered the diner at the beginning of the comic didn't have a full cross pattern on his face, but you could see it starting to form on the sides of his cheeks. Stan and Thomas play a game of chess, and Thomas makes a comment about Stan having a crush on Cindy. This devolves into a weird competition where they find creative ways to say "f you" to each other. Cindy suddenly comes downstairs and declares that they need to pack up and move out because an old man named Jeff was supposed to be keeping watch upstairs but decided to bury the dead family who used to live here. It was a nice thought, but they have strict survival rules, and this is the kind of thing that gets noticed. So now they need to move along. As they head into the woods up a nearby hill, a gunshot rings out and a bullet goes straight through Randall's shoulder. They keep moving and manage to lose their pursuers and camp out in the woods. In one of the tents, Randall isn't looking so hot. Luckily, one of the survivors is a paramedic, and he says that the bullet went out clean, even avoided any arteries, and there's no sign of an infection. From here, it cuts to another flashback. The morning after the initial incident, the crew wonder
he's probably the only person in this book who got something nice. Like, oh, shot through. He's probably gonna die horrifically, though.
And decide on leaving the truck behind at this point, as it might be too loud and draw attention to them. As they talk, they begin to hear some sickening thuds coming from the nearby mall parking lot. It looks like dozens of passengers started jumping from and or were thrown from a plane, all splattering onto the pavement.
Wait, Kelvin, aren't they I don't know if you're still here, but aren't they making a a series out of this? Cross is a horror book series by That Sick Psycho. No way they're making it. Wait. No way. Oh my god. I would not be watching this with my family. Getting an adaptation. It's getting a feature film? What? Yeah, okay, so I just found a Reddit saying, I guess it's wrapped up filming, and being honest, I don't think it's gonna be faithful at all. This movie is not gonna be faithful. I think they're gonna take out so much. They can't put that in theaters. That's worse than Jigsaw. What's up, Irish? We're doing Among Us at 9. That's genuinely worse than Jigsaw. You cannot put this book in theaters. Director made the Satanist Q? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is the Satanist Q? Well, I saw the headline, I was actually going to say, but I've already seen the Satanist, which is pretty much Cross in Taiwan. Okay, so what's that? Okay, so what the hell is... What is Satanist Q? Hold on. What the fuck is that? Hold on. Wait, what is this? So you know the show The Boys? There's so Kelvin was the one who brought this up to me, so fuck you, Kelvin. But I am a little curious on what the fuck is in this director's mind. But basically, the creator of The Boys is making who made a comic book that is way worse than The Boys. Supposedly, not even supposedly, it is. Like, I legit can't even quickly show you all the images. It's terrible. Like, it is. Fuck you, jackass. Shut up. I hate the fact that it's Sunday right now. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning. Well, you gotta. Wait, Sadness Q. What is movie? Is a movie? Is that what it is? Hold up. What is the sadness? I can't show this. Oh. Oh, I thought okay, no, that's what is this movie? That's what's the movie? Oh my god, Calvin, what's this movie? I know you know what this movie is. I forgot. What is this movie? Oh, Zodiac, it's right there. Nick, choke me in my sleep, low-key, Kennedy. No. No. The gore in the boys comics is on another level. What are you saying? This is bro. I just saw the images of this. I was like, okay, there's no way it could top the boys. No, what the video we're watching is way worse, like by 100. It's so bad because they don't just murder you. I don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. It's worse. What is the sadness movie? Is it this? Okay, who's the director? Let me figure out who the director is. Comic book movie. Okay, who's directing the who is directing the Cross movie? Does he just not have a name? What the fuck? He just doesn't have a name. Penetration. No, actually, wait. Am I tripping? Oh, it's right there. Rob Chabaz. Let's see what this guy's made. Sadness. Okay, I'm going to hide just in case. It's a Shudder movie. I'm gonna hide just in case. I don't know what it's gonna show, but if it's like on par with Crossed, I don't think I could show it. It's okay. Oh, it is basically Crossed. People who are infected but not really infected. Oh wait, you know what? I know I can see this. I have the website. Hold on, chat. Sorry, I know you're like, continue the video. How is it worse? But give me a second. Give me a second. I'm trying to see if like, cause I don't even think this movie. I said that for the comic though. I don't think this movie can live up to that. But I don't want. I'm not seeing that in theaters, by the way. And if I do, I have to see what's only guts. But I'll let y'all hear audio. How about that? Y'all can't see shit. Okay, that's not bad. This is creepy. Okay. Alright, just creepy so far. This scared her such a bit. No, dude, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Wait, I can't have you see stuff. I'm telling you, don't. I looked up images and it's okay. To put it in perspective, if the shoe, you see the guy's shoes is better. If that guy right there is literally saying, "I wouldn't watch it because it makes me uncomfortable," I'm telling you, it is disgusting. Like that. I'm telling you too. That shit would make me uncomfortable to see in live action. And there are people who cosplay it, and I'm not gonna lie, they gotta be watched. They gotta be watched. Okay, so far it's nothing compared to. It's. Okay, just broke his arm. I'm not gonna lie, this is not living up to Crossed, to what I saw. That feels sick to my stomach. of after that one image, and that apparently isn't the worst thing. I'm just trying to see. I don't even get what the infection is in Crossed. All it is bloody. Put up. Wait, what? Oh wow, that's a lot of guts. Alright, skipping through. I'm skipping through now. I'm not staying on this. It doesn't. No, I don't think they're definitely taking out stuff from this show. The comic. There's no way. Yeah, it's just grape. Well, it's gore and grape. That's what it is. It's literally both. Alright, I'm just. Alright. No, this movie, they're taking out some of that stuff. They're not putting that in the movie. That's not happening. All right, we're continuing the comic. Okay, so if you want to know Louis King, basically, what's happening now is there's survivors from this cult. I don't know what the fuck this is, infection, and right now the red you see is people falling out of a plane, and I think they're finding a new shelter, but I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want you to Google it. I really don't think you should Google it. It's actually sickening.
It's
but
horrifying. Cindy just says they need to get
on your own
moving,
risk.
and
On your own
Stan
risk.
says, "You're taking this all on without much trouble, aren't you?" Cindy simply replies with a question. Ever get f***ed by life? Happens to me all the time. This is really Cindy's character and attitude in just a couple of sentences. Back in the present, it's
So she's
just
like
morning,
Butcher.
and the crew starts packing up to move along. Despite Randall still not having an infection.
See, Kelvin, when you mentioned it to me, I just thought you were talking about it was just way gorier. I didn't think you were talking about that. And you know what's sickening? Well, let me read what you say. It's like an infection that makes people do their intrusive thoughts or something. Intrusive thoughts. So 90% of their intrusive thoughts is raping people? I'm telling you right now, if that director could, if he had the free rights and wouldn't get hate for it, he would have made that zombie do that to that kid. I'm so sure he would have done that. And that's what's like, I think that's when we dropped to my stomach of disgust. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that kid arguably had a fate worse than death. No, arguably had a better fate than her mom and dad. Truly, honestly. Having sex with them. That's still so fucking weird.
And he seems to be in a sort of coma or something. Stan and Cindy
just stay
sneak back to the
curious.
hill and look out at the farmhouse to see what the Crossed are up to. They use their binoculars to see something pretty bizarre. A group of Crossed are standing in a circle and, well, let's just say their pants are down. Even weirder, they seem to be collecting their fluids in a bowl. Stan and Cindy can't...
What? Why? 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 This is... I kid you not. This is not my intrusive thoughts. Why is there so many people with freaky intrusive thoughts? Kelvin, what is this what you're gonna do? If you're infected by the Crossed? Bro.
Why until they finally realize that the bowl is full of bullets. Cindy puts two and two together and runs like hell back to the camp. Meanwhile, the paramedic turns Randall over to find his face. So just to explain, the Crossed basically soaked their bullets in their own fluids, and when they shot Randall, it infected him. Although this seems to turn people slower than a bite. The rest of the group just hears screams from inside the tent, and suddenly Randall pokes his head out with flesh between his teeth. He looks right at Kelly and yells out something pretty foul. Thomas starts shooting at him as he runs towards Kelly, and
I can only imagine.
woman is trying her best.
Didn't he have a crush on her?
Where she's going. She runs into the woods, and Randall gets inches away from grabbing her by the hair. But luckily, Cindy shows up just in time and shoots him right through the head with her rifle.
Thank God.
Randall seemed like a good guy, but that's just the way.
Again,
considering the cross
had a better death than most so far.
And Cindy says that she thinks they should take Randall's idea and head to Alaska. Honestly, this issue starts off right in the shit. Stan, Cindy, and her son Patrick are hiding behind some broken down cars while
so
a group of...
I think I know the answer to what apocalypse I would never want to be a part of. This one. Never want to be a part of this one. Not gonna lie. Don't ever put me here.
A little ways behind Stan and Cindy, the other survivors are hiding behind a turned over bus. Just as they're about to be found out, the Cross turn the other way, hunting someone else it seems. After cutting it this close, one of their survival rules is to wait at least 2 hours before moving on to make space between them and the roaming Crossed. Before they head out, they finish searching this town, which had been pretty much picked clean. One of the guys in the group, who I don't think has ever been named, sees a can of beans in the street, but when he reaches over to grab it, a hidden bear trap closes around his leg, and seconds later, an arrow is shot through his chest, killing him instantly. The rest of the group quickly identify the shooter atop a small building and fire back. Here we learn that Stan is actually a pretty good shot, something he found out shortly after it all started. He nails the shooter in the side and she falls to the concrete below. A group of children come running out, telling them to leave her alone. They almost fire on the kids until they realize that none of them are Crossed. And they soon find out that the woman they just shot was a school teacher and these were her students. She somehow survives the gunshot and fall, although she's pretty banged up. She begs them not to hurt the kids, and they ask why she shot the guy in the bear trap. I guess she didn't want him to scream in case it drew in more Crossed. The whole situation is way more fucked up than you think, though. The teacher explains that they were starving, and this is how they would eat, trapping and shooting survivors who passed through, and then eating them. Yeah, these kids are cannibals, and their teacher has taught them how to kill and eat people to survive.
Wow.
She tells them about her safe house, and they travel there for the night. They patch the teacher up as best they can.
Bro, would we be this fucked up as a society if this happened? I feel like this guy chooses the darkest part of humanity. Would we be this fucked up? Because I think I'd rather die. Like, this is... Sheesh.
She begs them not to hurt the kids, saying that they didn't know what they were doing. It then cuts back to another flashback to those first few days after the event at the diner. There's actually a 2-page spread of pure chaos on a freeway with people being killed left and right. It's like a really up Where's Waldo. The survivors watch in horror, and Stan and Cindy look at a map to try and come up with a plan. Meanwhile, Kelly says it might sound stupid, but she asks Thomas if he'll promise to look after her. He's a nice guy and agrees. Suddenly, a cop interrupts them with his shotgun drawn. Luckily, he's not Crossed, but he is pretty serious and demands they follow him back to his police car on the other side of the hill. He also has them give over their weapons, but Cindy keeps her pistol hidden just in case. When they get to
I wouldn't get my weapons. What the fuck? Do you know what's going on?
The old man, Joel, and his family. There's also someone in the back of the police cruiser, a Crossed man. Back in the present, sitting by himself, we get a look at one of the group that hasn't been introduced yet. His name is Kittrick, and he's pretty quiet but very capable. Right now, he's sitting by himself crying. Inside, we learn that the teacher has died, and the rest of the group are debating what to do about the kids. They can't take them with them considering they're cannibals and it is a lot more mouths to feed. But at the same time, if they leave them, they'll either starve or continue doing what they were taught.
Bro, watch. He's gonna say, someone's gonna say, let's just put him out their misery. Let's just shoot him. Because, you know, this fucked up world. Let's just shoot him, you know?
Hunting innocent people. So a decision is ultimately made. The group heads outside, and while they're sleeping, Cindy and Stan shoot the children in their sleeping bags. 2 of them even wake up.
Bro! Bro! No other way? Oh my god!
Their friends are being slaughtered, and tears run down their faces in panic. But at this point, Stan has accepted that this is the cold reality of the world now. So they finish off the last 2 kids. I honestly have no idea what to think about this. Maybe this really was the only solution to this situation, or maybe they should have just dealt with the impossible task of bringing the kids with them and trying to...
This is getting a movie, by the way.
They're child killers now, and that's just the fucked up world of Crossed. Part 5. The crew have stopped at an old apartment building. Stan and Cindy try to come up with a plan as they head north and where to stop along the way to look for supplies. They look at the others in the next room and think they're probably not too popular right now considering they've killed children. The next day, they scout the town from the rooftop and see something horrific. A group of Crossed in the center of town with tied up survivors. One of them is huge and smacks another one with, I kid you not, a horse. Not only is this a bizarre and disturbing image, but it's also
really a horse dick.
The big guy hit the other Cross to stop
a horse dick.
One of their hostages. The fact that they have hostages at all is a little weird for the Crossed, who usually just attack with no discrimination. Well, we soon find out the big guy's plan. He throws the hostages into the back of a truck along with one Crossed and a bunch of weapons. That way, they can watch them slowly kill and each other. These sickos
Bro,
have actually
what?
learned to use restraint just for entertainment purposes. Pretty disturbing that they seem to have that kind of organization as well. Stan and Cindy watch in horror and also spot a pretty weird pair of crossed. One is a skinny old man with his balls hanging out, and another is a blind man who's missing all 4 of his limbs. They're actually on the cover of this issue, and what can I say? They stick out like a sore sack. I mean, it cuts back
Sore
to the
sack.
past
Nope,
again.
that's a good one.
Cindy asks the cop why he's keeping the crossed man alive in his cop car. He says it's for interrogation and intel purposes. It seems the crossed had said some horrible stuff about the cop's wife and that they had her captive somewhere. Cindy believes this is a trick and tries to convince the cop to just shoot the crossed man. She tells him that things have changed and this isn't some average criminal, but the cop says they have laws to uphold. At the same time, the other
What?
discuss what's
We
going
have
on
lost
and-
our Okay, first of all, I don't know how much time has passed with his wife. She's probably dead. Let's be real. She's probably dead by now. Like, what type of universe do you think? Oh yeah, the law still holds. Huh? No.
We learn that Joel's daughter
That
has
cop's an
injured
idiot.
herself the day before. After hearing this, Patrick takes a yogurt out of his backpack and gives it to the girl. Nice kid. Meanwhile, the crossed in the back of the police car starts antagonizing the cop and laughing at him. This sets the cop off and he gets into the car pointing his gun at the man. This doesn't intimidate the crossed man at all, who starts singing a really messed up song about what he and the others are going to do to the cop's wife. He then spits in the cop's eyes. This causes the officer to start shooting like a madman, almost hitting Cindy. He stops and collapses to his knees, and Cindy shoots the crossed man through the head. She then looks over to see the cop begin to sing the same song that the crossed was just singing. It's clear that he's been infected by the spit, and so Cindy shoots
So
him.
legit, if you get jizzed in, you get spat on, you get bit, you get shot with their cum, you're infected. So if you get scratched and you get infected, then it's like you can't survive this. This is not survivable.
In the present,
And they know how to use guns? No.
the group theorizes about the nature of the crossed once again, especially since they've seen them organize and reason. Kelly speculates that maybe some are better at suppressing the impulses than others and take leadership roles, but Cindy says it's no use trying to figure them out. They need to prepare to get out of the city without being seen. So they wait till nightfall and attempt to cross the bridge out of town,
Nightfall?
which is mostly broken away other than a
Nightfall.
large steel beam. As they make their way over it,
I don't know about
we see the
Nightfall.
crossed eating some body parts over a burnt corpse. Suddenly, the blind, armless guy starts mumbling something. The old man refers to him as Stump, by the way, so yeah, I guess they're naming each other now. And guess what the big guy's name is? Horsecock. How fitting. So
Wow.
Stump starts yelling
So
and looking
original.
in the direction of the survivors like he can sense them or something. Maybe he's got really good hearing since he's blind. Either way, the cross listen to him and start making their way toward the bridge, and the group of survivors is
Bro,
forced
this
to
road's
hurry
so
across
fucked.
the beam. A particularly
So
difficult task for Kelly. Jeff helps her across as best he can, while a girl named Sheena is yelling at them to hurry, as she's the only one
Shut
left on
up!
their side. By the way, this is the first issue where they mention Sheena by name, so that's why she hasn't come up till now. Horsecock and the other crossed are booking it to get
Why
to the
would she
survivors,
yell?
and finally, Kelly makes it all the way across. However, when Sheena gets onto the beam, the concrete around it collapses, leaving her hanging on the edge of the bridge with no way to get to the others. Looking up at the horrifying cross moving toward her, she realizes this is the end, and not wanting to become one of them, she drops
falls.
herself from the bridge to her death below. The others don't have time to warn and move along. However, as they do, Horsecock's voice bellows after them, saying, "We'll get you, bitch with the brat and four-eyed fuck, we'll get you." They're
Damn.
obviously referring to Stan and Cindy, and it's pretty creepy to have them call
Would you have the willpower to fall off? I don't know who's here, but would y'all have the willpower to fall off? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be touched, but I don't know.
called out so particularly. Part 6. It's been a couple of months, and the group is now traveling north through the snow. It's cold
Hell
as
no.
hell, but waiting for spring felt like
So you would get
suicide,
raped.
so they tried.
So if you didn't have the willpower to get fall off, what would you like? Rather be? I don't know if I want to be infected though. That's bad. I don't want to be jizzed in. So like, I don't want to be tortured. I can't do well with pain. I don't know what I would do.
John. As they walk through the snow, Thomas and Kelly hold hands.
I don't
and
know what
talk
I'd do.
about how beautiful it is. At the same time, Kittrick and Jeff are moving a little slow. They both seem like they're getting sick, and Cindy wonders if they'll survive, especially Kittrick.
I don't
who
think
she
you can.
doesn't
No.
believe really wants to live anymore.
I don't know
Cindy
anything
wonders
about the
why
infection.
things
I have no
are
idea what
actually
this
worse
infection is
off,
actually.
considering the amount of nukes and power
You
plants
dragged them
around
with
the
you?
world. The government made a big mess of everything else, but
I'd probably
they
take one
managed
with
to
me.
stop a full-on nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah, just like
At one
grab his foot, turn him, grab him by the shoulder, like fucking fall down, and then boom, and just beat him down. I don't know if that'd work. He'd probably just grab my face or like just fucking rip me up. I don't know. I don't know. This is just a fucked world.
point, they talked to a reporter in passing and learned that no one had launched any nukes in America or Russia. Guess that's obvious, or they'd be dead. They also learned that every warhead in Israel went off at once, blowing Israel and the surrounding areas all to hell. It looks like there's peace in the Middle East at last. They take refuge in a turned-over bus as the snow picks up outside.
This is
tells
global?
Cindy that Patrick is a good kid, and he really means it. Cindy wonders where this is coming from all of a sudden, and Stan says all they ever talk about is how to survive another day. Eventually, if they do make it to Alaska and maybe outlive the cross, they'll need some way to fill the long winter evenings. They'll have to actually get to know each other and talk about normal things at some point. Stan also tells her that no one expects Cindy to keep up this unemotional ice woman act all the time. He has a feeling that one of these days he might even catch her smiling. She gets up to take over guard duty and tells Stan that the moment she smiles, the moment she relaxes, is when something will happen. We get another glimpse into the past shortly after Cindy had shot the
Ice cold.
One of the survivors, a teenager, is pretty freaked out by everything and can't come to grips with the state of the world. They travel onward and stop to rest in the woods. Stan and Thomas take a pee and have their first real
So far, the worst thing was the Joel death so far. That's still the worst death I've seen.
conversation where we find out that Thomas is actually gay. He talks about his struggles living in a small, closed-minded town. He'd escaped years ago, but came back after his mom got sick and he needed to care for her. She had actually died a couple
you were gay? Yes, you were really gay? Yes, okay.
weeks ago, and Thomas was just about to get the hell out of there when this happened. Stan cracks a joke at Thomas's expense, but he just laughs and says, "Fuck you." This is the start of their friendship and their you battles. One of the few wholesome things in this whole damn comic. The others discuss for the first time what the cross might be. Kelly speculates that it's some kind of infection that turns off the part of our brains that stops us from acting on our impulses and urges. The teenager said that he heard, because of the crosses on their faces, that it's some kind of divine judgment from God. Those who aren't saved will be crossed and stuck in a world that has basically become hell. God's put a curse on us for our sins, and it's in the blood, which is why it spreads the way it does.
I don't think that's terrible. Like, why else is there a cross on their face? Like, I don't think that's terrible. That could be it. That could be it. I don't know though. But I don't know. Like, everyone's impulses is just having sex. Are we that freaky? Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Stan calls bullshit, but the kid is pretty scared and seems to be considering it a reality. About this time, Cindy addresses the group, making herself leader and saying that anyone is welcome to come along with her, but they'll do things her way. If they don't like how she does things, they can move along on their own. And if she doesn't like how they do things, she'll force them to go along on their own. No one argues with her, and the journey of survival begins. As they start to head out, the teen asks Stan if he could carry his rifle, and later that night, he shot himself with it. Stan never even knew his name, and worse, was shocked to find he didn't really care. Back in the present, the gang has moved along from the bus now that the sun is out and the snow has stopped. Thomas, Stan, and Kelly are debating who will die first between Kittrick and Jeff, and therefore which one they would cannibalize.
What the
They're
fuck?
just joking, but by nightfall, they knock it off with the jokes when they worry that Jeff and Kittrick might actually die from sickness. Stan finds Cindy and Patrick looking out from atop a snowy hill, and as he moves closer, he sees what they're looking at: a pack of beautiful wolves in the snow. A strange moment of realization hits Stan, that when all of the humans and crossed are wiped out, there may actually still be a beautiful world left behind. Part 7.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a time jump. And
Okay, nothing happened in that book.
Spring is around the corner. The gang is hiding behind some bushes at the edge of a road, watching as a horse runs by. A chain is tied to its saddle, and it's dragging a human leg behind it. There's no sign of the body it was attached to. Behind it follows a large group of crossed, most of which have guns. One of them is lagging behind, as his leg is clearly broken. The other cross take notice, and without hesitation, slice off the top of his head before moving forward. The body happens to fall inches from where the survivors are hiding, and it's a gruesome and disturbing sight, seeing the Crossman bleed out,
Oh.
his brains exposed. Luckily, he dies before he can announce the whereabouts of the survivors.
Yeah, Steve?
After waiting an hour, they start to pack up, and we're introduced to a new member of the survivors.
Who the fuck is
Brett.
this guy?
Stan really hates this guy. and
Finally!
that's why, because
Finally!
he's a total
Bro,
douchebag.
that's funny. Oh my god, I gotta repeat everything I said now. We are watching a video talking about a book that's way more disturbing than The Boys. That's getting a fucking movie. This book should not get a movie. This book is fucked. It's worse than The Boys. Holy shit. Like, actually. But finally, thank you for finally watching The Boys. Holy shit, finally.
Bag,
But
he won't shut up and constantly
Yeah.
makes snarky comments. The only good thing about him was he had a huge stash of food with him, and he offered to share it if they brought him along. So now they're stuck with him. Surprisingly, Jeff and Kittrick made it through the mountains alive and are actually better now. As they walk through the woods,
Huh.
Brett keeps asking about Kittrick and why he's so damn quiet, and tells him to quit his moping. We then learn why Kittrick is so quiet. He got it worse than anyone when this all started. In a flashback, we see Kittrick swimming out in a lake while his wife and 2 kids sit on the beach. His wife yells
Huh.
out to him saying that she heard something weird on the radio and she's a little worried. As she talks, a man casually walks up behind
Oh.
her and slices her head off with a machete. Several more crossed come out and Kittrick is in total shock, desperately trying to swim back to shore to save his kids as they scream for help. However, he barely starts moving when the group start hacking apart his 2 kids in front of him. At the same time, a crossed policeman shows up with a
No
shotgun laughing,
way.
and starts shooting at him in the water.
Bro,
So Kittrick dives below.
Homelander gets so much better, trust me, bro. Let me know who your favorite characters is by season 3.
and
by
swims
season
away.
3.
Something then sinks under the surface next to him. The severed head of his dead wife. He survives the horrific situation, and Stan and
Damn.
the others found him that night. Apparently, he jabbered out the whole story in a state of hysterics, and the next day, he was a completely different man. He hasn't spoken much since. In the present, the gang discuss their next move. Jeff suggests that they cross.
Surprised he
through
hasn't
Utah,
ended
Nevada,
himself
and
yet.
behind the Sierras.
Low
There's a
key,
lot of
seriously,
open
though.
space, so they can spot trouble from miles away. and
I
since
would've,
the Cross don't
like,
take good care
I
of
would have.
themselves,
I'm
the
currently on
desert would be a
episode
good death trap
1
for
of
them.
season 2.
Brett
Good,
bitches
good, good,
about
good,
this
good.
plan and how he
Bro.
doesn't want to walk 500 miles
It,
to
that
the
what do you
desert.
think? Of the, what do you think of the show so far? What do you think of the show so far? I thought season 1 was amazing. I mean, all the seasons are good except for season 4. I thought season 4 was just mid. It was okay. It was just shock value after shock value. It wasn't. But season 5 so far is amazing. I love season 5. Season 5 is so fucking good. It's so good so far. But yeah. Damn, we joined the train a little late. Well, now people are starting to want to watch the show. Come on, guys. Bro, this hype's unreal. You think it'll catch up before it ends?
Stan
better
starts
catch it
calling
before it
him a
ends.
whiner. The argument gets pretty heated, and Cindy shuts them up. She thinks the desert plan is a good idea. They just need to worry about water. Stan heads outside.
So Homelander had a kid with Butcher's wife, and apparently they're still alive because of the season 1 cliffhanger. Yes. To watch it whenever it was over or close to the end. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, he raped the wife. So yeah, if she has this kid, she's alive. But I want to talk about future stuff. I don't want to give hints of anything, but yeah. What do you think of the show, though? Oh, bro, I like waiting for seasons to come out because that leaves like the hype. I love the hype booting up the shows. That's why I watch shows when they're about to come out. I love that. But
To trade off
no,
the
you're right. You're
challenge
right.
for watch duty, and while he sits, a dog approaches him. Apparently, this isn't the first time. This time, however, the dog actually comes up to him. Stan warns the dog not to make friends with them, saying humans aren't going to survive this, and they'll lose each other one by one. One look at that dog's cute mug is irresistible, and he can't help but pet the little guy. Later, the gang is resting in a beautiful wooded area, and Cindy says that the dog's food will come out
Wait.
of Stan's share.
Why do you think? What do you mean good? What do you mean Homelander's still good? He killed the only thing he had? He's a psychopath. I mean, they're going to explain everything. Like, they're going to explain him. Just because he's a psycho. He's literally just a psychopath. Like, that's all he is. He thinks... again, it'll make more sense in the other seasons. You'll see more of... Like, okay, no, this guy's just crazy. Like, this guy's just fucked up. Without me saying anything, you'll know. Trust me. He's just a psychopath, though. This is what I mean by... Wait, but you saw the plane scene, right? Oh, but you saw the plane scene, right? He still killed people. He also wants to keep his image up. He wants to be loved. So, he had to. Yeah, well, what about the flight? Wait, what season's that in? No, yeah, Flight 37. He didn't have to kill them. He didn't save them. He dead ass could have saved them. That is proven. He could have saved them. He chose not to. He chose not to because of he wanted the military to have soups or something like that. I forgot why, but he chose to not save them. So yeah, he still murdered people. And also, what he did to Butcher's wife was just pretty bad. He actually isn't. No, he's still pretty bad. He's still a horrible human being. Yeah, he could have saved them. All right, let me.
Patrick is all smiles.
So far, this book actually hasn't been as bad, except for the beginning part.
Dog, and Stan tells him to thank
Yeah, he did.
Jeff comments on how nice this moment is, despite all the horrible things that have happened. Back before everything went to hell, Jeff never really had any friends. He says he just isn't like other people and never has been. He then asks them if he could trust them with a secret. He says that the town he grew up in was really small, and they weren't very accepting of people who were different. And, well, he never really clicked with girls. Thomas starts to realize that Jeff must be coming out as gay and tells him that he can relate. Jeff continues, saying that he tried to suppress it, but sometimes the urge would just be too much to bear. Once again, Thomas is supporting the hell out of him, telling him there's nothing wrong about those feelings. That is until Jeff says what he really was doing.
Yeah, this story is so fucked up, bro. Like, it just doesn't get better. Holy shit. No, not everyone is evil. Not everyone is evil. Holy hell. All the heroes suck. And A-Train is just an addict who really likes his position. You'll learn to like him. You'll learn to like him, trust me. The Deep is funny. But yeah, no, every single hero sucks except for Kamiko and Starlight.
Taking men back to his house to torture and kill.
So he was
chopped
Jeffrey
their bodies
Dahmer.
up into pieces and bury them under his house. Yeah, not the kind of coming out story that any of us.
Like, what? What? Like, what?
Expected. Holy shit. Everyone is in shock at what this old man
Not the
just
kid,
said,
though.
And he continues rambling about how one day he saw a sick-looking man and picked him up as his next victim, but when he got the man home and chained up, he realized something was not right. It turned out the man had crossed. He ran away in fear, and that was shortly before he met with the group. He can tell they're all freaked out and starts crying, saying that he would never do anything like this.
Why would
to
you tell them
and
that?
they're his only friends. Cindy guards Patrick and pulls out her gun, but Kittrick steps.
Bro, okay, so I just want you to get this mindset, because Jaden hates the Deep, but I think he went to the mindset of hating the Deep incorrectly. The Deep is a joke. Never feel bad. He is a joke. He will always be a joke. That's why I love his character. He's just a joke. He's a joke. I'm not gonna lie. I will laugh when he dies. It will be funny. I just gotta make it funny. Hopefully. Yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, he's a joke. And if you think there was someone who said he's the best character. It's not Jay. Someone else told me he was the best character. You are insane if you think he is the best character. He's a joke. Actually, I don't even know anymore. After this comic, bro, this makes me think that The Boys is nothing. The Boys is actually nothing.
And comforts Jeff. He gives Cindy a look, and she seems to understand. The next day, Jeff and Kittrick took a walk into the woods, and only Kittrick returned. Then they headed into the desert. Of all the twists and turns in this comic, Jeff turning out to be a serial killer.
Wait,
was
what?
not desert. Took a walk and Cindy a look, and she seems to understand. The next day, Jeff and Kittrick took a walk into the woods, and only Kittrick returned.
She killed Jeff? Bro, why did you... Jeff and Kittrick took a walk and Tricky came back on his own. 5 days after that, we started out across the desert. What the fuck? Why that feels like it was so unnecessary just to be fucked up. And that's why I don't understand about this creator. You're just like in the comics of The Boys, Black Noir eats a baby. Why? He just does it just to take pictures. I don't get that. That's random and weird. From what I've seen, A-Train is one of the best characters. Yes, he is one of the best characters. Not my favorite, but he's one of the best characters.
Then they headed into the desert. Of all the twists and turns in this comic,
Oh, it has. Yeah, YouTube Shorts spoiled everything for The Boys. Like, people basically watch The Boys on YouTube Shorts.
Serial killer.
Not me, though.
Not one I expected. Well, he's dead now, and we're on to the next issue. Part 8. This issue kicks off with a surreal image. Horsecock leading his band of cross
With the
through
horsecock.
desert while waving the giant horse schlong in the air.
I
What's
guess.
weirder is they're all singing a song about being bad guys, and they seem to have equipment and supplies, including water.
Was it
Stan and
with?
Cindy watch them from
Wait, so
afar,
that
and
does that not just mean that guy's intrusive thoughts were was having a horsecock as a weapon? Was that not what that fucking intrusive thought was? Okay, that's fucking weird, bro. That's actually weird, bro.
are understandably worried.
There's probably people
Did
out
they
there in that
track
world,
them here since
in the
they
world
saw
like
them
this.
2 months ago. They relay what they saw to the rest of the group, who are holed up at a gas station, and Thomas is pretty pissed, saying he knew it was too good to be true. They managed to cross a desert without trouble, but it turns out they were followed the whole time. The crossed went into a nearby canyon, so the survivors take off down the main road, something they usually avoid, hoping to get distance between them.
H.N. is goaded
However, at
after he
nightfall, they
becomes a
look
good
back to
person.
see
Yes.
lights in the distance. Turns out
So all I know is Black Noir dies and Atrium is goaded. That yes, and that's all you should know. I don't even know what could have possibly inspired the comic. I'm gonna look it up after this because I know what inspired The Boys. What inspired The Boys was the creator hated superheroes. The only heroes he liked were Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. But he hated superheroes, so he just made them look like shitty people. I don't know what could have possibly inspired this except the walk. You know what? Let's look that up right now. What? Oh my god, I got 15 minutes. Inspired The Boy, the Crossed comic. I can't pause after this because we got 15 minutes to Among Us. But comes a disturbing nightmare experienced by the brutal imagery of the aftermath of hurricane. A fucking hurricane inspired raping people after death? Oh, okay, wait, okay, hold on. Hurricane and a desire to explore the absolute worst human natures with the limitation of traditional zombie tropes. But why? Wait, that was risky. That was actually risky. Was inspired to create a comic by a nightmare of his own in which he dreamed that his neighbors were being attacked by some sort of zombie, who in reality turned out to be sadistic, maniacal, perverted men who committed but like why? But why? I don't need to know this. Would be horrendous people. Not as bad as The Boys though. They wouldn't be that bad. Well, depending on who you give it to. All right, I can't pause anymore, but it depends on. It depends. People would be horrible people. Give me superpowers, I won't be bad.
Starts making strange moaning noises, cluing the rest in on the survivors.
People
and
do suck,
the
yeah.
Cross start making their way toward them through the night. With no option of stopping, the survivors hurry.
I guess it
along
depends
and
on who
only
has
get
the
a few
powers.
hours sleep over the course of 2 days. Brett, without any tact, asks Kelly about being blind and wonders if she can hear better. He suggests that
Again,
Stump
depends on who has the
sense them
powers.
just based on sound. It's an unsettling thought that Horsecock and his crew intentionally mutilated Stump to adapt him for tracking. The survivors begin to cross a shallow river while Brett waits at a high point nearby to make
much
sure
time
the
do I have?
Crossed aren't behind them, and he's being an asshole to Stan as usual over the radio.
Shit,
Just
I gotta
then,
speed it
he's
up.
Interrupted by gunfire and is forced to jump off into the river. Shortly after, the group is shot at as well, and Kittrick is hit in the shoulder. Patrick loses his footing and gets caught in the stream, which carries him downriver. Cindy starts to chase him, but Stan tells her there's no use.
Shit.
They'll have to get back to land and then get to him on the bank. Enraged, Cindy curses at the Cross and fires off several rounds. They manage to get across the river, but can't find Patrick anywhere. Stan reassures Cindy that there's no way he drowned in such shallow water. Brett is complaining about how he could have died, and before him and Stan can start arguing again, a voice rings out over the radio. It's Horsecock, and he's laughing, saying that he has Cindy's kid. This is one of those moments in the comic where your heart just drops. He continues mocking them and saying all the horrible things they've done to the kid. Kittrick replies telling them to put Patrick on, and they go silent. Finally, Horsecock simply says they just killed the kid. This is actually hopeful. If they wanted to use Patrick as a lure, they would have just put him on, so it seems like this was all just a trick. As they try and put a plan together to find Patrick, Brett spots something along the bank. It's Patrick, and he's being chased by several Crossed. For once, the survivors aren't hiding, but instead go in after the Crossed, guns a-blazing, and kill them all in a bloody display. Cindy runs ahead, crying out
Oh,
for Patrick,
shit.
but when he turns around, he's Crossed. He yells at his mother saying something.
No.
Cindy shoots her own son in the head. It all just happens so fast that it is legitimately shocking. But this isn't a typical story. No miracles, no happy endings. Cindy just walks away saying nothing, and the rest of the group are silent as well, other than Kelly, who has no idea what's happened. They trudge forward, and on the radio, they can still hear the sick laughter of the Crossed. Part 9. The days go on, and Cindy has been quiet and keeping her distance from the others, just forging ahead. On a rainy night, the survivors are looking for a shelter when they happen upon a military transport chopper, the perfect place to camp out. Cindy sits in the cockpit while the rest of the group worry about her. Brett says that he thinks he can use some of the military military weapons in the chopper. At the same time, the dog starts sniffing him, and he gets pissed off yelling at it, which leads to yet another argument between him and Stan. Kittrick puts a stop to it when he tells Brett to be careful with the gun he's holding, considering it's got a grenade launcher attached and could kill them all. Later, Stan searches through the belongings of a nearby skeleton and finds a diary written on the blank pages of a Bible. It's the last words of Captain Michael Alexander. His mission was to escort a group of specialists into the nuclear power plants in the area where they would shut them down. He mentions coming into contact with hostiles with the unnamed contagion, but says that they're easy enough to take out because of their berserker behavior. However, large groups could be a threat. After the final plant was secured,
Is that not just Jeff?
orders to then kill the specialists, making sure that
Looks
if they
like
got
Jeff.
crossed, they couldn't wreak any more havoc. So I guess that explains why most of the nuclear facilities never went off. The captain ponders those horrible orders that he carried out, and more so realizes what an awful state the world must be in for them to be given in the first place. But he did what must be done. As they flew back to the headquarters, their chopper was hit by a storm, and they emergency landed in the desert. Unfortunately, Captain Michael broke his legs in the process, and ultimately was left behind, knowing that he would slow the rest down. This is where he started writing his diary, and where he died. He ends the notes by saying he hopes that the terrible thing he did was worth it. He hopes he was a good soldier, a good husband, and a good father. Stan closes the Bible, and they pack up to head out. As usual, Cindy stays quiet and away from the group. At a campsite, Kelly says that she actually thinks she might see light movement as Thomas moves his hand across her face. Maybe she'll get her eyesight back one day. Well, she's learned not to be hopeful. At the same time, the dog is pestering Brett again, and this time he kicks it. Stan tells him not to kick the dog, and Brett just says, "F you." And as the dog moves up to him again, Brett yells and kicks it. Stan once again tells him not to kick the dog. And once again, Brett says "F you" and flips him off. In yet another shocking moment,
don't
it
stop
happens
kicking the
out
dog,
of nowhere.
bro.
Stan pulls out his gun and shoots Brett through the heart. He just does it so matter-of-factly and then walks away. After this incident, the group just kept moving, but now they were all silent, not just Stan. After a couple of days, Stan finally approaches Cindy
Bro,
to talk to her.
like this book, just people died. Just
He
like
tells her he thinks they should go back and bury Patrick. He says he'll come with her and make the body decent for her so she can bury him. Cindy just ignores him, but he continues, saying that he thinks she needs this. She accuses this of being more about him, especially after killing Brett, but he promises her this isn't an act of redemption. He then pulls out the journal he found and explains how the captain had to kill people who didn't deserve it. After reading it, Stan said that he felt good again. Sad, but good. Because even the regrets and the guilt that they carry, that's what makes them different from the cross. But even so, it turns out he still has enough evil in him to kill a man without a thought just for kicking a dog. Even if Brett was an asshole, the fact that Stan could do that so easily just means that they're at a new stage, where they're becoming completely numb to it all. He thinks they're becoming inhuman. Sure, this is the weight that he carries, but maybe she carries it too, and maybe burying Patrick will help. Cindy finally agrees, and they leave Thomas, Kelly, and Kittrick a list of locations to stop at, and say to wait for 2 days at each of them. Hopefully, after burying Patrick, Stan and Cindy will make it back and catch up to them. Thomas tells Stan he thinks he's doing the right thing. Besides, at this point, they all owe it to Cindy for saving them so many times and leading the way. They shake hands, and Thomas tries his best to come up with a particularly creative "you," but he can't think of one. Stan says this wasn't the last time he saw Thomas, but it was the way he'd like to remember him. I don't know if I even want to know what that means, but we have one more issue to go.
one more issue.
A few days pass, and Stan, Cindy, and the dog make it back to where they shot the cross by the river. Stan has Cindy hang back while he wraps Patrick's decaying body up with a sleeping bag. He then hands him off to Cindy, who buries him by the bank, and weeps. It looks like she's at least getting some form of closure. They then begin the journey back to the others and stop at a church for the night. Inside, the corpse of the priest is nailed to a depiction of Jesus on the cross. Must have been quite a shock to the congregation. Cindy tells Stan that he was right. She did need to bury Patrick, and she thanks him. Probably the first time she ever has. She then reflects on them shooting those kids all that time ago. No matter how many calculated reasons they had for doing it, like protecting Patrick, they're still child killers. And what does that even mean now that her kid is dead? Stan thinks that everything
Homelander, that's not the craziest thing he's done, bro. You just get ready.
And decide they should cut him down before they leave in the morning. We then check back in with the others. It's been over a month, and they've already stopped at 2 of the locations they planned on.
I forgot that was in season 2.
As they talk, Kittrick speaks up and says that they're being followed. He can tell it's Horse crew because they're being sneaky about it, and any other cross would just charge in and attack. He tells Thomas and Kelly to keep going like nothing's wrong to avoid suspicion, and that he's going to hang back. He tells them that when they hear gunfire, they should run. The two try and stop him, but he says he doesn't want to live anymore. He's been kidding himself for a long time, but enough is enough. He tells them to make as much distance as possible, and then he turns around and kneels down in the grass. As the cross approach, Kittrick closes his eyes and speaks to his wife and children, saying he'll be with them soon. As soon as Horse and the others see him, they start shooting, hitting Kittrick in the side, but he doesn't go down without a fight and fires back. Meanwhile, Stan and Cindy are actually not too far off, and are likely going to catch up with the others at the next location. They hear gunshots in the distance.
Yeah, Ashley, look at me!
Who has Stump on his back, cuts off Kittrick's arm and starts pulling his pants off, but Horse still carries
no way.
His name, smacks the old man with it, and tells him that they have no time. They must catch the others. Meanwhile, the other cross quickly stab Kittrick in the head. The old man starts insulting Horse until he beats the old man into submission with his horse wiener. Horse grabs Stump, puts him on his back, and starts chasing after Thomas and Kelly. Thomas does his best to lead Kelly through the woods until they stop and hide behind a fallen
See,
tree.
like,
The cross
they
passes
just
by,
think
and just as
raping anybody at the, like, that just, like, come on,
Cindy
bro.
would, they wait an hour before leaving. They walk along the edge of a
It's just
cliff and
weird.
move when suddenly Horse pops up out of nowhere with his favorite weapon and smacks Thomas across the face, knocking him to the ground. The psycho moves in on Kelly, taunting her and laughing. When Thomas springs back up and yells, "What are you laughing at, asshole?" He jumps onto the giant and takes a massive bite out of his neck, ripping into his arteries. Horsecock falls onto his back, crushing Stump and bleeding profusely.
Oh, wow.
He finds Thomas's gun on the ground, and together they pointed at horse with Thomas coaching Kelly to pull the trigger, and once and for all, they kill the son of a bitch. However, the rest of the cross are
Wow.
making their way toward them, and quickly. Kelly begs Thomas to just shoot her and run, not realizing that Thomas got crossed blood in his mouth and will soon turn into one of them himself. He grabs her by the shoulders, telling her he made her a promise to never leave her, and together they run towards the cliff edge and jump. From a distance, Stan and Cindy watch with binoculars. They're now the only survivors left. After a while of watching and waiting, Cindy finally says she thinks they should just go in and kill the rest of them. At this point, they don't have anything left to lose, and she reckons they could pull it off. They move in closer and aim their guns. As they open fire, we get one last monologue from Stan. He says, in the end, there's no great secret to the cross. They were all the awful aspects of humanity magnified by 100,000, and nothing more. They came from us, every sadist, brute, and torturer, every terrorist.
Yes, we are.
Smirking criminal
Couple more
violence,
minutes.
and every bad, debasing thing that men and women have had to do to deal with evil. They are the marks left slashed across our souls. As he says all of this, Stan and Cindy kill every last one of the cross in brutal fashion. As they move along, Stan continues saying that he no longer wonders how it all started, whether it be a
Well, it's not 9 yet, so 6 more minutes.
thrown by God.
Yeah.
There would never be a satisfying answer. What was waiting for them up north? And what redemption could there possibly be for the horrible things they've done? Either way, Stan and Cindy continue walking.
How many
nothing
people?
certain
I don't know
about
yet. We'll see when people join.
beneath their feet. The sun shines across the snowy mountains, and Cindy holds Stan's hand. That is the end of Crossed. Well, there you have it. What
That's the end of it?
do you guys think of Crossed? It's funny. On one hand, it was actually way more jarring than I thought, and I was pretty shocked at moments, but at the same time, I was pleasantly surprised at how engaging this comic was to read. I kind of had the impression this was going to be a pretty cheap shock comic, but at the end of the day, there were great characters and
That's how it ends? That's not satisfying at all.